What's going on, everybody? This is
Lady Shy.
and I'm Mr. De'Aris Teddy, and welcome to the Sophisticated Grizzly. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Sophisticated Grizzly. And we are on location at Mass Creation Studios. This is JB's spot because today is JB's birthday. So we are celebrating my man tonight. We showing him that, only the kind of love that the Grizzly can. So we took over his studio. There you go. So tonight's subject, y'all already know, you saw the tagline. You know what we're talking about. Shy, hit him with it.
Affordability versus accountability.
Affordability versus accountability. Now, we're trying to set up YouTube. So if you are normally on Instagram, we want you to come on over here to YouTube. And we'll be up here in a second because, we got to figure all of this stuff out.
Because the technician is terrible tonight.
You know what? Seeing how Shy's supposed to be the technician.
I was fired. Y'all remember y'all fired me?
Yeah, we had to fire you. He's terrible.
I was good at this. I was set up already. I mean, I was hitting buttons, but I was at least set up.
But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna figure it out. But anyway, right now we're gonna let's get into the topic. I'm gonna figure YouTube out in 1 second, but it's streaming over there anyway. So affordability versus accountability. So the way I came up with this, because I saw something on TikTok, and I thought about it for a second, and I tried to do a couple of generations from 1970 to about 2004. Mm-hmm. So the average age range of Black people having children at around that time was about 15 to 16 years old. So we're talking about a generation after 15 years, because every time a child is born, that's the next generation. So we're going from 1970 to about 85 to about 2004. So let's say in 2004, government assistance is no longer available. It's cut off. It's done. You can't get it no more. So where do you feel like the Black family would be from 2004 up until about now? So the comment sections are open. I'm going to send out a couple of invites to a couple of people. Like I said, we trying to get this work in tonight. So we're doing a couple of things. But anybody that's in here now, just go ahead and say whatever it is you want to say, and we'll keep going. But Shy, tell me, what do you think as far as that goes?
Between 2004 and now,
yes,
if government assistance wasn't available,
yes,
it would be a lot of, I think homicide rate would go up, robberies would go up.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people would be suffering, and
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's a tough one.
It is tough.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would be struggling if they didn't have that help. But especially generations of families who've been leaning on it, especially ones who go from a mom who were raising children on it, then their children are raising on them, and on and on and on. They would definitely suffer, because I'm sure most of them don't have skills beyond just sitting at home in most cases.
So for me, the next question would be, do you feel like people would not be so fast, or let's just say ladies would not be so fast to kick the man out of the house? Do you think they would, or let's just put it like this. Do you think ladies would make better choices than men, or and not be so willy-nilly with the sex?
I think both sexes would be more careful with whom they're mating with, should I say.
Yeah.
because you'll be stuck with that person for the rest of your life, basically, because they're going to find a way to attach themselves to you.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion.
So I think that one of the issues that I have is when I look at the timeline from 2004 up until 2022. We look at all of the reckless sex that we have from 70 all the way up to that point. You know what I mean? You look at so many women saying they got deadbeat dads. Well, the question that I asked beforehand, would there be a lot more deadbeat moms?
So would the fathers be getting custody of the kids, or is that
say let's just put it, either the father could be getting custody of the children, or a lot more women putting their kids into foster care because of the fact that there's no more government assistance. It's no longer available, so it's just cut. There's nothing. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're white, black. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. There's no more government assistance from 2004 up to 2022. And I'm speaking from the black perspective because we've always been told that we abuse the welfare system, when actuality,
it's not.
Everyone abuses the welfare system, as opposed to certain people who figure out how to use it to get ahead in life. There are a lot more people across the board in all ethnicities that abuse the welfare system. I mean, you got just as many white people on welfare as there is black as there is Hispanic. So, but I'm speaking from the black perspective because we're black.
Of course.
So, I wanted to know, like I said, would there be better choices as far as who you have your kids with? Would the courting process be back in effect? Would you court each other a lot more? Would all of these things that we used to do back even before welfare got into play, because we courted long before the 70s, and I mean the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, we courted the women. Men took the time to court women. Women took the time to take their time to get to know the man that they're going to be with. It ain't always turn out great, but the rates were much better than they are now.
I was going to say, because in each generation, you still had single parent families. So it wasn't just that they were out there just willy-nilly. They were getting to know the people, and whatever happened, and they split. You're going to have cases of like normal, either the one side of the parents are going to either go to jail or may have gotten killed. You're going to have situations still in that realm. But at the same time, if the government was to cut off assistance, I do believe the choices would be a little bit make them think a little harder on who they chose to be stuck with.
Okay.
Not stuck with, but
who they should choose to live their life with.
Because for the rest of your life, you're going to be attached to this person in some form.
And see, and I think a lot of the times, y'all, you know what, everybody that's on here now, you can go ahead and chime in on what you think. We got a couple of people in here tonight. If you guys want to actually chime in, if you don't want to, it's okay. But you're more than welcome to. What do you think, brother? Well, we got a couple of people in here at the Mass Creation Studios, and keep on saying that because that's where we at. You know what I mean? We took over my man's studio tonight. So my man, Rich, what's happening? You know what? You can bring the chair over here if you like, my man. We will slide this thing down some, and we're gonna have Rich hopping in here as well. I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna go ahead and you can go ahead and okay. So yeah, we got one of our superstars from the last couple of Grizzly episodes, Mr. Rich Harris.
We gotta get Miss Jones on here, don't we?
Miss Jones?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where's Miss Jones?
Miss Jones was at them.
Oh yeah, Miss Quabila. If she pops in. This is my man Rich. Rich, welcome to the Grizzly. Welcome live. Rich is live on the Grizzly, everybody. He is not. This is definitely live. It's not Memorex. My man is here today. So what do you think, my man?
All right. Let's do it right. Recite the question again. So I can actually.
Okay. So it's affordability versus accountability. So if government assistance was cut off in 2004 up until now, where do you think the state of the black family would be from 2004 to this point now?
From 2004 to this point, huh?
Yes.
I think we've been all right.
Okay.
I think we've been all right if we had better opportunities.
Okay.
If we had better opportunities, 100%, I think we would have been fine. But if we had the same opportunities we got now from 2004 to then, then we gonna be out of luck.
Okay. Now
we're gonna be out of luck. It would have been actually worse for us.
Okay. Now the next thing is, do you think the choices that men and women make as far as a person that they decide to procreate with would be different because they know there's no more assistance available? Do you think that the black man would be back in the home? Do you think that the men would make better choices as well?
No. No, absolutely not.
Because men just choose.
I think the choice is going to be the same regardless with government assistance or without government assistance. Like you can't choose who you are attracted to sometimes. Okay. Sometimes you pick the wrong one.
Yeah, and it happens. It happens to the best of us, you know. And but the thing is, okay, so
I think I'm the right one though.
Rich feels like he's the right one, so just so y'all know, you know what I mean. So basically, in a nutshell, you think that we might still be in the same boat that we're in right now, or would it be worse, much worse?
If government assistance wasn't there,
it was gone. It's 2004. It's out of here.
I feel like it's all about the opportunities that we get because I know black families, who's not on government assistance.
Okay.
And they're okay. I know black families that's on government assistance. Okay. They're actually okay.
Can I ask you a question with that? So
what's up, Ms.
Ty? Who are on, have they been, their family been on it, like, as far as you know, like for generations? And then the ones who have not been on, is it generations of not being on? Or was there somewhere where they broke the chain?
I say both. I say, I'm thinking of one in particular who wasn't on it, for as my knowledge, because I can't speak for things I don't know. Yeah. Then they started a family and got on government assistance. But yeah, I'm gonna keep saying it. Let's go back to the opportunities. We need better opportunities to feed our family outside of the government assistance. So if they take the government assistance away from 2004 to now and don't give us the opportunities to do it, so we wilding out.
So here's my what's happening? We got a question? We got a question from in studio.
So does that mean then that the Black community would have stepped up to take more accountability for their family unit? Because back in the day, it took a village. Now everybody's out for themselves. Right. So without government assistance, do you think that we would have band together more than we are currently now? Maybe the families would stay together and everybody would be.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And
I can see that 100%.
And here's and we're going to read the comments in 1 second, but I do also want to ask this question because I want you guys to answer this too. Because at that point, we haven't actually tapped into this thing that we actually tapping into now called Black woman, Black girl magic. We didn't really recognize the intelligence and the ingenuity of women around that time. Do you feel
from 2004?
Think about it. It started becoming more prevalent in about 2010. It's always been there, but it's got spoken of a lot more as far as 2010 on up.
Now I might be a little biased because I was raised by nothing but strong Black women.
Me too.
So it was like I was told about Black girls could do anything in the world.
Yeah, I watched my mom do it. But the thing is, worldwide, it was never looked that way. But would that have been a more tapped in resource at that time, from 2004 up until now? Where would we be as a Black? Think about it. The Black man and the Black woman, with the dynamic thought process that we have and the way that we can think, and if we move together as a unit and we tapping into the intelligence and the ingenuity of a Black woman with that Black man, where do you think the opportunities will be then? Because now we're working together. We're not working against each other. We're not being told that, we're creating our own opportunities. And see, that's the thing. We've been told that there aren't any opportunities because we don't work together to create these opportunities. because we're taking too much time to work against one another. We always talk about black girl magic. I have no problem with black girl magic. What about black people magic? Black family magic, black love, black unity, black ingenuity. Because we're thinking about different black woman businesses. What about black people business? You know what I mean? Would that be different from 2014 to now? If it's gone, you got to figure this out.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah,
because dare I say, get a little lazy.
Yes.
Get a little lazy.
Yes, we can.
So I can see, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
but I still feel, even then, we would still be running into the little small problems that we have too now of everybody wanting to be number one.
Of course.
Okay.
Everybody want to be number one. Nobody want to take the backseat and let somebody else.
Yeah. But see, you know what? That's in every community.
Absolutely.
But the thing about it is we have to now, 2004 to now, we got to figure out how to stop that, because ain't no more help. Because the government, they not even inclined to help us now. They weren't inclined to help us then. It was just a way so that we could not come together as a family unit. Because you're going to choose your kids over your man. And if the government is going to help you take care of your children, you're going to choose them over your man every time. But if the only way you can take care of your kids is if you unite with the father, that's a whole different choice now. Right. Because are you going to choose to struggle for your pride or make sure that your kids eat? Just because y'all had a bad argument. So that's what I'm saying. So let's read the comments real quick. See what we got up here.
All right. We have lovely Lady Yates. She
What's
says
happening?
Government assistance makes some people lazy. Therefore, I think it would change one's decision to have a child.
Yes. I you know what? I agree with that. And not even just that, but who you have the kid by. Who you have the kid by, who you can't have the kid with, because
that's the only thing I disagree with. Yeah. I don't think with government assistance or without that has anything to do if Malika is going to lay with Tyrone. Like, I'm
gonna tell you exactly why I believe it's different. I'm gonna tell you why it'd be different, because I know women who's actually used that to trap men financially.
Yeah.
So think about that. Would that be happening anymore?
Men would be very careful who condoms are being used.
Yeah, exactly. But if you think about it, if that government assistance is gone, what you trapping them for? They not even going after him.
Well,
I mean, they'll go after him for child support.
No, they're trying to trap him to be like married to him or something.
Yeah,
like that.
But see, that's the thing. Ain't no woman going. But now women, remember, even though women are emotional, they're still intelligent. They're intelligent. They're not just about emotion. They're very intelligent. And if you think about it, now that woman is not thinking because Tyrone is fine, but Tyrone got the kind of temperament to be a dad? And does he have the kind of mindset to lead this family?
I feel like they kind of moving in that direction now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, the like I got a whole bunch of female friends.
Okay.
So it's like platonic female friends, just to be clear.
Okay.
To be clear, y'all.
Just to be clear.
And I feel like I hear this coming from them more and more as we get older.
Yeah.
And maybe not so much when you kids, but when you kids, you really don't know nothing.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing.
Yeah. But if you think about it,
what we see on TV and we emulate that.
But we're walking up on the 4th and 5th generations now. So we're 5 generations into welfare. So that would have been in 2004, we're in 3 generations of welfare. Now it's done. That means it's no more. It's done. So
are we still like the highest?
Yeah. Well, honestly, we've never been the highest. It's just been reported that we're the highest. We're the one who they talk about us on welfare more than we're on welfare. Right. Truth be told, the statistics show that there are more white people on welfare than there are black people. Exactly. But see, they're not going to talk about that because that's an embarrassing blight on white people as a whole. Because number one, they didn't create welfare in the first place. It was the Black Panthers. They just circumvented it and made it a government program. Correct. But now that they've turned it into a government program, they couldn't very well take it away from the very people it was created to feed. And now once white people, Hispanic people, and even some Asian people are actually on welfare. So a lot of people don't even know that. So now, 2004, Asian people have already created their community. So once that's gone, they got people that's going to help them. The Hispanic community has already been created. It's gone for them. They got people that's going to help them. White people, they got people. They got the country. I mean, they have the country. Black people, we literally have nobody. So now we don't even have ourselves. So do we figure it out? Let's say 2004, gone. 2005, are we now having the conversation? Or are we waiting until 2009 to have the conversation? Okay, we're going to have to figure this out now, how to work together.
So my question is, how do you suggest we get rid of this? Because we can't just tell people don't get government assistance. Okay. Because of food stamps.
Yeah. Well, see, look, bro, I will spend the EBT card like right now.
I keep getting denied.
Like right. I would do it right now. You know, but here's the thing, though. The only way that you can actually get the government out of your household is to not invite them in the first place.
Once they in, it's hard to get them out.
Yeah, because the thing about it is now you're literally being watched. And think about it. A lot of the programs that government assistance provides, they're pretty good programs. They helping with job placement as far as the mom, different classes that they get taught, helping them buy homes. Like it looks like a genie in a bottle. The problem is it's also separating her from the person she created the child with, which is the whole goal of it. So that's one of the reasons why you got a lot of women say, I don't need no man. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. Well, the thing about it is it was men that there are men, a lot of men that run that government assistance. So in some way, shape, or form, a man was necessary.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think the problem with that is you're told the man that you laid with and had a kid with that you don't need him.
Yeah, but I come from the generation that raised it, though.
Yes. Yeah,
that's all trickled down. That's not just an independent thought that I don't need no man to take care of. That's something that was taught.
Yeah, but see, that's okay. So Shy, in your opinion, do you think? All right, my brother. Do you think that it is up to women at that point in 2004, that government assistance is just taken away? They didn't even give you a warning; it's gone.
Okay.
So now, is it up to women to get together to have the conversation?
It's up to the community to get together and have that conversation.
Okay, so the community can get together and have that conversation, but remember, it's 2004. Women still ain't listening to men. They want to hear what we got to say.
Let me back you up on that. I mean, let me push you back.
Okay.
Some women
ain't listening to their men.
Shut up for a second. Some are.
See, they ain't even listening to me. You just told me shut up.
I'm saying, go ahead. Definitely made a point.
I'm good.
Listen, but don't ask me a question and then you're going to talk for me. So now I'm not listening. Listen. Some women were still listening to men and some were not.
Okay.
Again, it's the generational thing. Some were taught to be strong. You have to go out there and use your own skills or your own mind for whatever.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a man beside you to make money or to do this or that. So it was a generational thing. And you also have the 2-parent homes where the father taught you didn't need a man, you wanted a man.
Yeah.
My dad.
Yeah.
He taught me that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he taught me to also let your husband lead.
Okay.
So in those type of decisions, I had to make to make my family rounded.
Yeah, make your family.
So you have some people who do listen.
Okay.
And then you have some who don't. And then you have the ones who feel that they can do it with the man outside the house, but he doesn't have to be actually with me for my children to be good.
Okay.
Go back to what you were saying about women listening to men, though. We gotta give them something to listen to, because they not as simple, as we probably think. And I'm glad that you said that. They very on their game and intelligent. So if you can't tell them something that actually makes sense,
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because there are so many men that say, listen. You don't listen to a man. You got to listen to a man. Man, what you saying?
I want to piggyback on this too.
Go ahead.
My father always said, just because you met a man doesn't mean make a man who can lead. So every man, just because he's swinging dingling, don't mean he can
See, he's a male.
Teach you something.
He's
Because he's a male doesn't
yeah.
mean he can teach you
Yeah.
something.
See, there's a difference between males, boys, and men.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It
So
doesn't make him an automatic leader.
exactly. So we have another comment. First up, Kisha telling us we acting up. We know this.
Oh, y'all acting up. I'm being good. I didn't say nothing yet. Put her on. She be acting up.
I gave her the link.
Vicky says, actually, the Black Panthers created WIC.
Mm-hmm.
The government assistance program was introduced in 1935 by the Social Security Administration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
History class.
We learning.
But see, that's still WIC is still considered government assistance.
It still is.
It's still the same. Yeah, it's still a form of government assistance.
They took it under.
But like I said, all of it's gone now. So it don't matter
WIC
when or who it created.
Oh, you talking about?
No, in 2004. It's out of here. It's gone. Like there's no WIC. There is no Section 8. There's no none of that. You got to figure out how to live now. You know what I mean? So that's why.
It's no Section 8 though.
Yeah, no, it's gone.
He's talking about within
that timeline.
Scenario.
Within the scenario.
Yeah, because I just said the same thing about WIC.
Yeah, because WIC. No more damn peanut butter with the oil at the top. None of it. Gone. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so yeah.
Lovely lady says, no one is saying don't get help if you need it. Create a plan to get off of it. Personally, I feel the government should put more requirements on those that do receive assistance.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're unemployed and get daycare vouchers, one said have to be in a job training program.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So you should have to be in a program or school or something where you're trying to get a skill and not just sitting at home.
Yeah.
Because again, there are generations that sit and don't do anything.
Exactly.
I know people will be like, girl, I can't wait till you have a kid because so they don't have to do anything.
That's right.
So let me ask lovely lady.
Messed up mindset that I would not quit a job because I knew if I quit that job, I was not going on unemployed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I used to have that mindset. So that's true. I ain't got it no more. I grew up.
Yeah.
My height didn't, but I did.
But lovely lady, I want to ask you this question. Okay, so I want you to chime in on the 2004 to 2022. Now, do you feel like Black families will be working together or becoming Black families again if the assistance was no longer available? Because I think about it, assistance is it's useful, but it's also a crutch. Because remember, there are people who need it and there are people that abuse it.
That's true.
And see, now the people that need it and abuse it are no longer there. So now when you're having these kids, when you deciding, you want to, have that fun on prom night or some shit like that, or, you hit it in the back of the car. You know what I mean? Like we done all had those moments. We done all had sex as teenagers. It happened. You know what I mean? Not many of us walked away with children, but there's some who had, and it's not shitting on anybody who actually had kids early. It is what it is, but at the end of the day, that's another generation born. Right. So with that generation born, we're talking about people who are teenagers in the year 2004. They just had kids. There's no more assistance.
They're going to stay home with their parents until they can move on.
So here's the thing. What do your parents do now?
They got another bill.
So is mom and dad that weren't talking previously now having conversations about Junior that just had this baby, but there's no more assistance? Are you going to let Junior and the grandchild fail?
Of course not.
Okay.
I would hope not.
So here's the thing. Remember, a lot of us, regardless of color, are selfish. And we don't have grandmas, we got grandmas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they ain't watching them fucking kids. You know what I mean? But now there's no assistance. So the only thing that's available is mama's house or homelessness.
Mm. And most parents are not going to allow their kids to be homeless.
So are you now having different conversations? Are you still having baby showers for your 16-year-old?
Now,
but you need assistance. You need help.
If government assistance didn't exist, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, from 2020.
Right. No, I'm talking about that scenario.
Yes.
So it doesn't.
It's gone.
So there's no Section 8 MBQs.
Nothing. There's no EBT cards. All that's gone.
Oh, no EBT.
Yes, it's done. Yes. No more milk.
No more half and half.
No more half and half. No lobsters and scrimps.
No more crab legs.
No more crab legs. Crab legs is gone, baby. You got to use your cash.
I don't like this thought. I don't like this thought. No, I'm joking. it would have been something else in place. Like they said, Black Panther came up with it, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we as a creative culture would have done it.
Okay.
We would have done it.
Yeah. So we're now, as Black people, without government assistance, working together. Now we don't have assistance, so now we're as Black people working together. So here's the question I'm not trying to lead up to. Why can't we do that right now?
Why can't we do it now?
Yeah. Because we didn't just put a scenario out where the government ain't in it. So why don't we get their asses out of it so we can do it now?
Now it would be hard. I would never say we can't do it right. I feel like
we're not united enough.
Exactly. So why do we have to get the government to leave for us to unite? Why can't we unite regardless of whether they're around or not? We got one more question on here. Then we're gonna hop into that answer.
Hold on, before we get to that question, though.
What's up?
My answer to that is because we gotta have leaders that everyone can trust.
Exactly.
Yes.
We gotta have leaders that everyone can trust.
But it starts in your house.
We don't trust our own leaders. It's never gonna happen.
But your leaders start in your house. Your dad, your mom, those are your first leaders. Before you trust an outside leader, your mama and your daddy got to lead you right first.
You're totally right. One of the greatest philosophers in the world said, "Can't change the world unless you change yourself."
Exactly.
That's Christopher Wallace.
Christopher Wallace. Exactly. Exactly. That's Biggie Smalls, people. That's a Biggie Smalls reference right there. What's it?
I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
I just want to sound intellectual.
You got to get that intellectual.
That's not all wrong.
It's cool though. You sorry. Nobody even knew.
I did.
You sorry. Lovely lady says, I'm a firm believer that the war of drug broke up Black families, which lead to one needing government assistance. Therefore, I feel the Black families would be stronger because women would depend on their men or do what they have to do to take care of their families. And Tyrone said, no more EBT.
No more crab legs, bro. They gone, bro. No, bro.
No,
bro.
No, bro.
No, bro. No, bro. We gone. There's no more crunchy bullshit. It's over. It's done. So now
I'm still getting crab legs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But
leg.
Here's the thing: you're gonna get crab legs, but you're gonna get one leg, and you ain't getting no butter sauce.
No butter sauce. Oh,
it costs too much. Guess how many Black people be making their own damn butter sauce? You can get butter cheaper than you can get butter sauce.
Make your own.
It'd be so damn many crab legs dipped in margarine.
You know what? That's not even
yes.
We'll
talk about this.
But so here's the thing. So now,
garlic butter.
2004 to 2022, the next step, do we start building communities to take care of one another?
Yeah.
2004 to 2022. So this is now we're either homeless in the street or families taking care of us. And that's when you realize that you and Ray Ray don't really like each other outside of talking on the phone. Because now you staying up in Ray Ray's basement and he getting a little upset about the fact that you keep writing your name on your milk and shit. You know what I mean? So because he can't eat his Cheerios because he used all of his goddamn milk. So the problem now is you now have to try to work together as families and communities, because think about it. It didn't just fragment the immediate family. It fragmented Black families altogether. Yeah. Because you remember before those times, grandma, granddad were the matriarchs of the family. They kept the family together, the family reunions and all of these types of things. These things lasted all the way up until about the 80s. It started to die off as those grandparents started to die off. So now when you got the next generation coming in, they are not as connected as the families from the 60s and 70s. So now you got the 80s, they're trying to hold on by a thread, but they're not holding on as strong as those older folk, those older families, because they still had those older values, you know? So now you got the newer families, the 80s parents that are now looking at things in a different way. But remember, we still got that government assistance in place. So they're now like, well, I ain't really trying to be around the family, this type and the third, you know, this, whatever. There's nothing close knit because there's no true real attachment. Because if you can't even attach to the woman you had children with, it's going to be hard to attach to the people that you don't even spend that much time around. You spent time around your cousins when you was kids, but when you get adults, think about it. How many of our cousins did we spend time around right now?
Right.
That we grew up with?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody say we get busy and we get jobs and this, that, and the third.
I'm a little
But they
different.
still, you know, I mean, you may spend more time around your family. I don't spend as much time
With
around
my
my family.
generation. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, my brother.
birthday.
JB is in the building, everybody. What's up, my man? What's up, my man?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I am
You
stuffed.
ran out that seat.
We gotta.
Well,
Chill
if you want,
we
we
got?
can set you up on the office so
Yeah.
you can be on, or we can bring the laptop out here.
What are you doing?
Huh?
This is Late Shot. That is K over there. That's my
I
lady.
got a bottle for it.
All right.
So yeah, Miss Sheila's in the house tonight, so
There you
that's
go.
a good one.
There
So,
you go. There you go. So we already got this thing rolling, bro.
Really?
So yeah.
How's
So
it looking?
so far, it's looking wonderful. It's looking really good. So you already know the question, though. You know what I mean? You 2004 to 2022.
Right.
What is the state of the black family if government assistance is out of here? They gone. No
I
credit.
think it's going to be a lot less babies.
Okay. Or is there better choices in men?
That is
And
why it's
better
going to
choices.
lead to less babies, because what I feel would be the difference is that you know that you're on your own. It's just like when you have the parent who says, well, you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit 18, you out the door.
Get out of here.
Out of here.
Yeah. But
So this is the government saying when you have a baby, you on your own.
mm-hmm. So do we now, in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
do we now start working together as a black unit, as black people? Do we try to now, once again, like we've done in 85 and 60s and 70s, do we now once again try to build a community to take care of one another, because the government is not in it anymore? It's just us.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea is that we have a community. It's just that right now it's dysfunctional.
Yes. Yes.
And the dysfunction, part of it comes from
Mhm.
the lack of black male leadership in the family,
Mm-hmm.
because
That's what
the
he was
one
talking
and done thing, it goes back to sex. The
Yeah.
one and done thing. If
Yeah.
you're one and done, then you good.
Exactly.
I ain't
Exactly.
gotta ever see her again. But what if you left something inside of her that's gonna grow for 9 months and become part of the society?
Exactly. So now that's why I made the timeline what I did, because the average age of people having children from 1970 to 2004 is about 14, 15 years old. You know what I mean? So what's going on? What's happening?
Nope,
What is
on
it?
the man.
Okay. So
We do have a comment.
we do that. Okay, what's the comment?
Tyrone said, my homegirl just married a state trooper. She bought some food stamps from a friend of hers, and her husband was mad about her buying food stamps from someone.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, because what does the
Pride.
husband do? And that's the thing
It's the pride.
and that's another problem, and that's another thing that I actually wanted to discuss. Do we now forego black pride? Do we now forego our pride as people just so we can get that EBT card? You know what I mean? Because here's the thing: free money, free money. I don't care how you look at it. Free money is free money. But if you are doing pretty good, pretty well,
It's a way of saving money by using the money from
Using it
somebody
from the government.
who's
Absolutely.
selling it. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, yeah, you are foregoing your pride a little bit.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In a way, but you're
Yeah.
saving money at the
Yeah.
same time, because that's food money that could be used towards something else.
Yeah. So, and I think that for me, don't get me wrong, I ain't too proud to use a damn EBT card.
Right,
Please do not even think that, because if one drop in my hand, I'm going to get some crab legs, and, some damn butter, some butter sauce. But I also am in a position, and I'm not saying that I'm a rich man, but I can actually go to buy crab legs right now with butter sauce, because I actually take care of my finances, and I do the things that I'm supposed to do. Not always. I'm not always the most responsible with my cash, but I'm doing a hell of a lot better than I used to the point to where if I actually got government assistance, it would be something extra, but I
It'd be
don't
a
need it.
bonus.
It ain't necessary, because I can still do what I need to do. So the thing is, that's the mindset that I'm trying to get people to see in this show, the mindset of taking care of yourself in spite of assistance. because like you said, Sha, that's a way to save money.
Mm-hmm.
But how many people had jobs, got those EBT cards, and saved money? Not many.
Mm-hmm.
How many people got those stimulus checks, was still working? Because me, I was still working.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll say is, did I save my stimulus check? No. You see the grizzly. That's what I did with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I invested my money. So how many people invested their money and how many people spent it on something crazy? Sha, you have children.
Mm-hmm.
So you spent yours taking care of your family. So you spent it wisely.
Well,
you know,
I'm not gonna lie. I bought a lot of dresses, okay, because I like to shop. But I took care of my babies. I made sure they was.
But
good
you still have. The thing
household.
you still it's cost. It was a stimulus check. But think about it.
I got a lot
It's
of
a stimulus. Y'all, you know what?
I work hard for the money that I do earn, and I worked through most of the pandemic, so that was a bonus. I deserve to just be able to.
So I did.
Well,
flash a little bit on some.
Miss Kisha said it starts home for sure, and no more eating better today or EBT cards. So
why they so against food stamps? Like,
what's up with that?
Like, y'all really throwing stones at food.
No, I'm gonna tell you why, bro. Because let's just call it what it is. Government assistance is necessary, but it's also a crutch. Because it puts you in a position where you feel like you don't have to work. And so many people, some of these ladies have taken the time to pimp the hell out of the system to the point to where they have they're lifers on this assistance. So here's the thing, that requires intelligence. Do you understand the kind of intelligence that you could have used to build a business in the same way that you pimp that system? Think about how many drug dealers from back in our day now own successful businesses because they learned the business of the street and they can move it into the boardroom.
Just for the record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our day is different.
I was going to say, ain't y'all two different?
Our days are different, but okay. So here's the thing: a deal is a dealer. A deal is a dealer.
I agree. Yeah.
Drugs is drugs. Hoods is hoods. You know what I mean? I mean, we changed the age, but we ain't changed too many of the products. You know what I mean? Because crack started when I was out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's still the same thing. You make it the same damn way. It's a whole different. You know what I mean? Different sales points.
I am not in these streets.
I was.
I wasn't.
You know, so I mean, I'm just gonna put I was at one point, but you know, thank God I'm no.
I was the guy that knew him.
You know,
but I went home.
But that's the thing. So, but we look at some of these. You look at some of these drug dealers that were out in these streets that are now successful businessmen. You know what I mean? So they've now become successful at business and doing these things. So these same women who are just as intelligent, I will never, ever take away a woman's intelligence because I believe that a woman is just as intelligent and capable as a man, especially as far as business and things of that nature. There are so many women who created businesses way before it was legal for Black women to create businesses. Think about the woman who created the straightening comb.
Right.
It was not even legal for her to have that. You know what I mean? But she did it. So you think about from then to this point, women have always had the ability and the intelligence. So you're taking that ability to pimp a system instead of creating a system that you don't have to pimp. Creating a business out of use the government assistance, but furnish your own business at the same time. Because the thing is, they only start tracking your money once you start to pay taxes on it. But once you're already paying taxes on your business, it's not your business. They ain't gonna take it from you. Yeah. You know, so that's the part that has always driven me crazy. So from 2004 to 2022, that ain't available no more. So now that intelligence that you use to pimp the system, now you're gonna have to pimp yourself into a business.
We have another comment.
So what's the comment?
Lovely lady, she says, in London, when a woman gives birth, she is provided with a care package from the government. I think it's a 3-child maximum.
And think about it, it's 2 kids. It's a 2-child minimum in Japan or China.
Maximum.
Yeah, the
You
maximum
only have
2-child minimum.
You can only have, but
No,
this
they
is
can
like
only
the care.
have-
They can only
This
have
is just the care.
Yeah, that
package.
max. Yeah, that's the
maxed
max.
out
Yeah,
at
that's a
2.
maxed out at 2.
Yeah, but I think like the
I
government
maxed out at
assistance
2.
here,
Yeah.
I think the government assistance has like about maybe 5. I think it covers up to 5.
Yeah, it covers
kids
at
or
the
something.
5. But think
You
about
ain't
it.
maxed out yet.
Think about that.
All the
though.
money that comes from
Yes.
each child.
Think about that because okay, so think about how many kids can you claim on your taxes before you have
I
no.
don't know.
I think you only got 4 as a limit.
don't
I think you
there's
can
a limit.
claim. I think there's a
On
limit
taxes?
as far as
No.
as far as getting earned income credit.
No,
I think it, you
can
know,
claim
all of your kids. So if you have 13 kids,
when
you
they
get
were giving
earned.
away
You get
that
it
free
all of
money,
them.
when they were giving away that free money
Mhm.
over COVID, people were getting money for each kid they had.
Okay.
So I don't think there's a limit. You can't tell. In America, you're
Mhm.
land of the free, so your uterus is free to have as many as you want.
So here's the thing. That done now. 2004 to now.
Wow.
Gone. You got 13 kids to feed because you was going off of the strength that you had government assistance.
Mhm.
That gone now. You just spent that money. Now 2004 came. The only thing that you got, if you have a job, is income taxes and the money that's coming from your job. Now what you gonna do? You got 13 mouths to feed. God forbid you have more than one man, the children by more than one man. So now you have to go to these guys who you probably had all of these kinds of issues with because either you treated them like shit or they was jerks. But now you got to make peace. You got to make peace with these same guys because you got 13 kids, so your pride don't mean shit at this point. So, like you said, it will be less births.
There's a limit on the kids you can.
Not here.
Not here in the U.S.
Oh,
Not here. They just schooled me on that one. It's not a limit on how much money you can get as far as taxes on kids in the U.S. The other countries perhaps, but not here in the U.S. But now it's done as far as assistance.
Right.
You still get taxes, but your taxes ain't gonna last an entire year. And if you're only working at, let's say you're just working at Royal Farms, let's say you're working at Highs, you're working at Kinko's, you're working at McDonald's, or you're working a lower level job in an office building, like you're a mail clerk, you're a clerical, you're something like that. You know what I mean? So it's all right, brother. Phones ring on here too. It's okay.
So I think what is going to happen if it ever gets down to it, people are going to learn how to farm. They're going to learn how to grow their own food, which they should already be doing now during the pandemic. They're going to learn how to stretch out their check, and they're going to balance their budgets a little bit better.
Yeah.
But the generation that knows that don't really got that.
Yeah.
They ain't teach that.
So that's when our leaders are going to have to come in and really like jump in and help you.
Like how many people in my generation really know how to start a fire without a light?
And see, here's the thing, because my generation before yours, I already know how to start a fire without a light.
How many Boy Scouts and Eagle Scouts?
Want to jump in?
I do.
Then that would make you a leader because then you would have to help teach the other people that need help.
So that puts you in a position
of
the
generation of I don't need nobody's help.
So here's the thing.
I don't even. You don't have. I'm not going to do it the way you did it.
I already know how to do it.
I already know how to do it my way.
So this
but
generation,
also, this is what we have to remember is that we've already taken it away. So now they're fending on a level where it was never there. So they're going to approach it differently. So maybe there is more responsibility. There's more social consciousness. All of the things that they don't do now because they have this assistance would be different because they would never have had it. So they would have been fending on their own. That's why I'm saying a lot of the change would come with them being responsible and more selective and more specific about their choices.
Yeah. So the kids that we see now, even with the same choices, let's just put the same choices in front of us now, the same social media choices, the same electronics choices, all of the same choices that we have now is still here. How do you think the children now, with more responsible adults from 2004 to now, how do you think those kids would be at this point?
they would have been subjected to a lot less tomfoolery and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been made to know that you've got to do this for yourself because nobody's there to help you.
And there's that.
And it changes the whole dynamic. It shifts the paradigm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what people don't. When you say something is gone,
yeah,
it's just like what's the movie everybody watches at Christmas? It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
When you take him out of the equation, everybody's lives went on in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he was like, I feel like I was significant now because I see that they didn't prosper as much.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you've got to look at it like that. If you take it out of the equation, people's lives are still going to go on, but the decisions they make are going to be different.
Exactly. And
you're not going to. There, and you remember there used to be this thing where it was like, well, these girls going around having all these kids so they can get that public assistance, so that they can get a public house, so they can, well, if it's not
that's
there,
gone. Yeah, they're gone.
Then they're working class citizens. They're fending on their own. They're looking for responsible men to build a relationship, or women, whoever they're physically attracted to, and it lowers the population. Lowering the population means there's less people fighting for stuff. When less people are fighting for stuff and there's no public assistance, there's no welfare, there's no housing for welfare. That lowers the crime rate. It lowers the crime rate because nobody's out here trying to get high and drunk because they don't have, they have to be responsible for everything. We didn't get high and drunk when we were young because we got P-tested when we wanted to get to a job. Now they can get a job at Sam's Club, Walmart, and they'll say, oh, they just take marijuana. Okay, we need them.
Or it gets high. Because without that assistance, if I don't have it, I'm not able to get a job. You got it. I'm taking it. That's not me.
But I don't. That's but
no.
I'm just saying that's a thought process.
Yes, it is.
But there's always the cops robber scenario in every.
It's gonna be crooks no matter how.
What. But
you can have Nirvana. It's gonna be a crook.
When you are creating a situation that creates people that need and then can't get. It's different from when you're creating a situation of responsible people who have to just watch their backs because people are out there who don't want.
I understand.
Yeah. And so
you're always going to have that portion of population that doesn't want to be prosperous.
And then without government assistance, you still got to look at it.
There is no government.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it like this. You can't say without it, they never knew it. There was no existence of it.
Yeah, so they never that fourth and fifth generation, they heard of rumors of government assistance, but they never actually had to deal with it. But see, here's the thing, and this is why I got this Cheshire Cat grin on my face now. So, I asked that same question earlier. Why can't we do that shit right now?
Right.
Because if they can't, let's go here. You know that movie? Tale Ricky Body, Talladega Nights. Anarchy. I don't know what that word means, but I love it. That's what's going to happen.
Exactly. Oh, Miss Todd decided. She said hello to you as well.
Hey, how you
and doing? It's his birthday.
So the whole idea is that when you shift something that swiftly in a whole culture or a whole civilization, it's going to create anarchy.
Yes.
Guess what? You see what's happening over in the Ukraine right now because they're Russia's talking about taking over the Ukraine. And they had to talk everybody off the list. Russia started seeing what was going on. They're like, no, we're not going. No, we're not going into Ukraine right now. No.
Yeah, calm down. Yeah.
But guess what? They probably are. Yeah. But the difference is they saw that the whole world was against them going into Ukraine, so they backed down. So if the whole world is against you having multiple babies and you can't and not taking care of them because if you don't take care of them, there's no way they're going to be taken care of.
Yes, that's it.
You would be doing third world country shit.
Yes, exactly.
Your baby gets sick, you leave them on the doorstep of the church. The church tries to feed them and tries to give them enough. If they can't, they take them to the hospital. The hospital tries to help them out. By this point, the child is destitute, the child is ill. And they do as much as they can. If they can't save the child under regular means, they're not going through extraneous means to take care of that child. That child dies, and the child becomes a statistic.
Yeah, exactly. So for
here, we're not allowed to do that.
No.
Everything is based on do no harm.
Exactly.
Everything, even our healthcare system, even though they say when you go into the healthcare centers or the clinics or even emergency room, you got insurance. No,
exactly.
They shake their heads, but guess what? You still get
paid.
Yeah, you still get taken care of and everything else, and you get a bill that you can't pay.
Exactly.
That's the only thing.
Exactly.
I got hit with a bill for a COVID test.
Mm-hmm.
It was just for me going to an express gate.
Yeah. You know, I mean, everything's for
How are they
sale.
going to charge you with
Even your sickness.
COVID test was free.
Well, even your
You
kid.
to see me.
Yeah.
Is what they charge me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything's for sale.
Yeah.
Even your sickness is for sale.
Wow.
So just remember that. You know what I mean? Yeah, just to be seen. Because see, they're not gonna charge you for the test, but they're gonna charge you for the staff.
Yeah.
Because they still got to get paid. You know. So
it's not a lot.
yeah. But I just, like I said, the reason that I wanted to ask this question is because a brother had it. I'm pretty sure everybody has TikTok, and a brother made this comment on TikTok. They said, he said, without government assistance, there would be more deadbeat moms than there would be deadbeat dads. And when I first heard it, I said, damn, wow, that's a strong one. But then I had to really think about it and really think more on it. And I had to, when I started to think more on it, it's not so much about having deadbeat moms. Would there be different mamas? Would there be different, I mean, different mindsets, a different mindset in being a mama and different mindset in being a father? Because though, believe it or not, those 2004 mothers and fathers, those teenagers or whoever they are, they're going to be more responsible than we were.
Question.
Because they have no help.
With this scenario, the people who already have kids before 2004 and already on assistance, theirs is going to get cut as well.
All of them.
So,
yes. Everybody.
What about the elderly?
Done.
So it's going to be a lot of homeless people, is what you're
saying. Yeah. So here's the thing: a lot of homeless people, or we come together as a community and do it ourselves, because it's our job to take care of our elders. We keep expecting the government once again to not just take care of our children, but take care of our elders. We don't. But how many people have stuffed their parents, grandparents, in assisted living homes and then walked away?
A lot.
So now that's not available because the government ain't paying none. So now Gigi got to be home with you. So instead of looking at it as a burden, look at it as now we have to try to find the way to look at this now as a blessing, because it should always be a blessing to take care of your elders, because these are the people that are the beginning of you.
But then the scenario with that would be, now you gotta find a way to take care of your parent or elder. Make sure that your house is running functionally financially.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
here's
a
the
lot
thing.
for some people.
My question is, I don't feel like the majority of the people are doing it now.
No.
It's still a good portion of people who saved money and put money up as time has gone. Like, there's a lot of elderly, when they own their homes and they go into a home or a nursing facility, they have to give them all their information, their bank account and all that stuff. So some people have the money to stay in a facility. Yeah. But then you have a lot who
have their assistance.
Need their assistance.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, you think about how many times have we had to see GoFundMe's for our people, our elderly, or our family that passed away, but we can't pay for the funeral because they didn't have the money to pay for insurance.
Yep.
So they never had insurance. They didn't get the colonial pen and all that other stuff because they did not have the money.
Is it they didn't have the money, or they didn't have the education?
See, that's another thing. See, that this is all of this. This is what I'm talking about. All of this stuff changes your mindset. So now you're educating yourself from 2004 to 2022. You are now learning, how do these stocks work? How do these bonds work? How does it work to get insurance? What do I need to do to have insurance? What do I need to do to have Medicaid, Medicare, all of these different things? What do I have to do? So now I'm thinking as opposed to accepting.
So basically, we have to retrain our brains
to become different people.
And when we goes on to, and I'm not pointing fingers.
Go ahead.
Point your finger because you
point them shits.
about how we brought up, because if we never taught these things, like it's, and I'm not going at the school systems or nothing, but we're never taught this.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why that, and not saying that you're bullshit, but I'm gonna tell you why that's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why. He's not bullshit. He's not bullshit. He's not even crunchy bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why that's bullshit. Everybody has the ability to learn on their own. We all have that. Now, here's the thing. I was never taught how to do stocks, but I taught myself. My mom ain't know no stocks, but I taught myself. I never knew.
What made you teach yourself?
Because I didn't know.
So you just thought about stocks one day.
And just, yes.
But everybody don't think like that.
They don't.
Everybody not thinking about like, hold on. Everybody not thinking about like, oh, when I die, let me leave this to such and such. Or
why not?
No one think, because no one's thinking about when they die.
Everybody should think about that. Here's the thing.
No,
you think about your life
now in the future.
Yeah.
But in the future, making placements in the future. But we're not thinking about death because death is dark.
Yeah.
But no one is teaching. I mean, I say no one.
Yeah.
But
here's what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why so many people teaching, but we're not looking for the lessons. There are so many people out there teaching these things, but nobody. See, it's not about who's teaching it. It's about going to find that lesson. How many people go to college because they got to or because they want to?
Both.
So here's
but you gotta have something in place to think that, like, just as a young man growing up, I'm not sitting here thinking, if I wasn't taught that
other generations have to talk to you.
Yeah, my future kids are going to need this, so let me start.
No, not as a child, but once you have a child, talk to somebody.
Right.
You
so
see,
but randomly, it's not
going to randomly come to your mind. But guess what you're doing? You're stressing. You're stressing because now you got to figure out how to feed your child. And the first thing that we think of, unfortunately, when you coming from the environment that many of us come from, is got to get that money fast. I got to hurry up because my baby need to eat now. There are so many drug dealers that started becoming drug dealers because their children needed to eat. It ain't have shit to do with the clothes. It ain't have nothing to do with being flashy. It had everything to do with, I have a child. I don't have a choice.
Famous lines in that song. He started the song off saying, "Yo, I just want to say thank you to all the people who called the police on me when I was just trying to feed my daughter."
Yes.
I just want to say, Jerry,
so many.
Jerry is my guy because I quoted Biggie early.
He's quoting now. Exactly.
I just want to say.
So
sometimes.
But Biggie,
come on, brother.
Yeah.
No. We're going to leave that alone.
But see, that's the thing. So,
We're going to leave it alone.
He ain't my top 10, but he ain't my top 3. So.
Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. So the thing about it is we can go with what we taught. Okay. But see, okay, let me put it like this.
Right.
You're not gonna look for that shit as a kid. But what's your excuse as an adult? So think about it. 2004, there's still some 25, 26, 27-year-olds out there. You're a grown-ass man now and nobody cares.
That's a hard argument because as a kid, you are learning things to become an adult.
Yes.
And if you don't learn it as a child growing up, then as an adult, you're never going to learn it because you already getting to the point where you stuck in your
When you started to walk, who taught you?
Okay, that's what I
No,
said.
they didn't teach you. You got your ass up and walked.
No.
You watched them.
No, I saw videotapes.
I mean, no.
I saw the videotapes. They
I forgot
held
you.
me up. They said, walk.
Yeah.
And when I learned
but
that,
who took the steps?
They let go.
Yeah.
They guided you.
They let go. They said, come to me.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't know about certain things, and they never took the time out to say, all right, Rich, you got to learn to invest in stocks. This is what a stock is. This is this. I'm like, all right. If no one never said that, I'm not going to naturally wake up and be like, what the fuck is a stock?
Well, so here's the thing, bro. And this is why, and not to say that what you think is bullshit.
Right.
I'm gonna rephrase it. It's irresponsible in a way because at the end of the day, you're in control of your destiny as a man. So you're in control of what you learn as a man. You're in control of what you teach your children as a man. So what your parents taught you is not a good excuse for what you don't teach your boys.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So
that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is someone has to come into your life and say, look, you can do it a different way. regardless, and that is
Well, why can't you
the
do
older,
it?
huh?
Why can't you say it?
Because
I gotta do this shit different.
all right,
Biggie said it.
Trial and error.
Biggie said it. I
Sure.
can't keep doing this shit.
Sure.
I can't keep
Trial.
going to jail.
Yeah, right. But he went to jail.
He did.
He went to jail.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's stocks over there. That's how I can get it. Now I'm gonna figure out another way to get money.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not with stocks.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone don't come to me and be like,
But I get what you're
brother,
saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Like if you're in a circle that doesn't know anything about stocks, it's not gonna be like, you know what we need to do? We need to get stocks.
Yeah.
Like it's not
But see,
in
it's
the conversation.
Because the next question is, what the hell is stocks?
okay.
And if I'm just saying a word that I don't even know what it is, then that's probably
Perfect example.
90% of my
And I can go with you on that because a perfect example. When I started figuring out stocks, started thinking about how to do stocks, went to my family about it. They always like, well, I'm speaking Chinese arithmetic. You feel me? So now, in the scenario you just said, if nobody's around to teach you about stocks, you're not going to arbitrarily think about stocks. So what if somebody walk up to you, is learning about stocks, I'm trying to show you, and because you're not used to it, you're not trying to receive it. So now, is that on you?
Yeah, that's on you.
So here's the thing. How
on you.
many of us have had things come up to us without being taught by our parents or whoever we came up with, somebody outside of these people, somebody else? Maybe it ain't your mama. It may have been your brother. It may have been, hell, it may have been your child that came to tell you and you didn't listen because, oh, it's coming from that. What the hell they know? Or what my brother know? Think about how many times we don't listen to our peers because they're our peers. They act like our peers can't be our teachers.
I agree.
We do that too many times. That's why I'm saying that we have too many excuses of why we can't, and there are not enough reasons why we can.
I agree. The only thing that I'm having pushback with,
yes,
is the fact that in your scenario, someone is coming to you, telling you how to do something. Like our peers is coming to you, like maybe you should do it this way.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe you should do it that way.
Yeah.
To help you, and then you get that pushback.
Yeah.
But if no one ain't saying nothing,
okay,
then you just don't know.
You don't.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is the problem. It's the lack of knowing about how to get residual income. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is, so here's the thing. What you're saying is what you said earlier. And I'm glad we circled back to that. Lack of leadership.
Yeah, I'm with that.
So the first leader is in the person in the house. That's your first leader. Right. It's his job to learn this stuff. It's his job or her job. It's their job. It's their job to learn this stuff. Now, maybe it ain't stocks. Yeah. Maybe it ain't bonds. Hell, it might be trying to figure out how to open up your own business or how to write a resume or how to or how to or what you need to do to succeed in college, what you need to do, what you need to learn in college to be successful in business, to anything, you know what I mean? Or what you need to learn in college to open up your own business, anything. So the thing about it is our job as parents. We do not, in 2004.
It's the job of your parents to set the seed to always be better.
Exactly.
My parents always said, you need to do better. We want you to do better.
Yeah.
We are successful. You need to succeed us.
Yes.
So you plant a seed to make sure your children always want to learn and improve and be better.
And there it is. Thank you so much. And guess who else said that? What you just said. JB. He said that last week. Jerry 2.0. How many times have we talked about Mr. Jerry 2.0? Yeah. Because you planted that seed for him to do better than what you did. So even things that you weren't knowledgeable about, you planted the seed for him to go seek the knowledge. Because I don't know it, but I need you to go look for it because I don't know it. But see, the thing about it's not about teaching you what I know. It's about telling you to go learn what I don't know. It's not just about teaching you what I know. I can show you everything that I know, but that might not be your ball of wax. That might not be, you may not want to learn about finances. You might want to be an actor. You might want to be, I ain't never acted a damn day in my life. I can act like I know, but I don't know how to do any of that shit. But I can tell you, if you want to know this stuff, here's where you need to go. I will figure it out and tell you where you need to go. I can't tell you how to act, but I can tell you how to go learn how to act.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But somebody there to tell you, oh, you interested in this? Go here.
Yeah. But in 2004, it's done. No more assistance. So now you as a father, you as a mother, y'all as parents, you got these kids. Now, you may not be doing great or you may be doing wonderful. Who knows? But ain't no more assistance. So more times than not, if you have assistance, you're not doing very good. You're doing, you may struggling a little bit. But you learn how to, number one, you have to learn how to use the strengths that you have to do better than what you're doing right now, because the assistance is no longer there. And now you got to train your kids on how to be better than what you are right now, because you had this assistance. This assistance is gone now, and now your son is watching you as a man. Your son is now watching you as a man. Your son is now your sons and daughters are watching y'all as moms. So now I'm watching what lessons you're teaching me now, because there's no more assistance. Now I'm looking at you to eat. Daddy, I'm looking at you to eat. Government don't care if I eat. Now it's on you. So this shit just got real.
But we're doing that anyway.
Yeah, but no, that's the thing. We're doing that with certain degrees of assistance, but now it's gone. Now you got to figure out how to feed your kids off your money. This is your money. Because at the end of the day, guess who the kids are? Your responsibility, not the government's. So it's your job to make sure not only that they eat, but they learn how to feed themselves. Because here's the thing. Are you going to ask the government to teach your son how to hunt, or are you going to take him out there to hunt?
And on that note, I was here on Monday, and I was just sitting in the building while some other people were working. So I went to my office, and I was sitting in my office, and I saw one of the photographers that I know and follow online was having a podcast. I'm like, oh, okay, let me check this out. So I jumped on, not on the podcast, but I was just like in the viewing arena watching the podcast, and a question came up. How many of you guys know anything or did anything about the SBA loans and stuff that were going for small businesses? And I typed in, I did. There were like 30 people online, and I'm like, I'm the only one. So they were like, oh my gosh, we need to get you on. Can you jump on? So I jumped back in. The request came up and they put me on. And I told these people about the SBA situation and how to go through about it. If you have an EIN and all that, they were amazed about somebody knowing that in the community. And I'm like, well, you guys are small businesses. You should have hunted it out. You were shut down for almost 2 years. Anything the government would have given me to make me feel a little bit better about them telling me you can't make money for 2 years. Yeah. And I mean, they were like, this is a godsend, because most of them had EIN numbers. Most of them were LLCs or sole proprietorships, all the qualifications. And most of them were in needy zones with zip codes where you could get money from the government for grants. And then they were like, well, I don't know if I want to take out a loan. I said, it's not a loan, it's a grant. What does that mean? You don't know the difference between a loan and a grant. A grant is like, here, they say, here, this money is for you. It's non-taxable and you don't have to pay it back. What? These are people that run businesses, and they're probably running very successful, very good businesses. But when the hardships came, they didn't know how to look for help.
Exactly.
And then they were like, well, do you do your taxes or does somebody else? I said, I have a very, very knowledgeable tax agent who takes care of my stuff. But this was stuff I hunted out.
Yeah. Because
when you tell me I can't make money, I'm going to look on the government. They giving money to all these single welfare moms to get $900 a kid or whatever. I don't even know. So don't hold me a line. But I'm like, whatever they getting, it's got to be something in for a small businessman.
Yeah.
Just like when people were driving Uber and Lyft, and they couldn't do that because you could catch COVID. And they were like, well, what are we supposed to do? And eventually they said, you could get unemployment. Yeah. And they were like, I can. And then Uber and Lyft were trying to block unemployment because then that showed that they were legal employees of that company instead of what do you call it?
Contract workers.
Contract workers.
Yes. Yeah.
But they take your social, they take your driver's license, they get all your pertinence. So guess what? They get all the benefits from the government, but you can't.
Yeah.
No.
So in your scenario, is that being taken away as well?
As far as what that assistance right there. Now in that scenario,
well, that was this is
a COVID.
Yeah.
So this is a COVID situation.
But
see, that's a disaster situation.
I'm just asking because you said government
that was
assistance
that was.
But see,
what
that's
they
more
call what did it call like God something?
Yeah, an act of God.
Act of God.
Yeah. So the thing about it is they would have no. They would have
in
no
the
choice.
scenario, will colleges not be able to give out loans?
Yeah, they will.
On grants?
That's different.
I'm
They're
just,
better
I'm, just,
themselves.
I'm just trying to figure out the
see,
whole
colleges can
but
because they're not.
This is the whole idea is that it would be at a lower level.
Yeah, but we're talking about government
listen,
assistance
but
as
it would
far
be at a
as
lower level
we're talking about
more
government
people
assistance as
would
far
be
as
working
families.
towards their goals.
We're not talking about government assistance as far as colleges and things of that nature. It's talking about giving out grants and all of that. We're talking about people on wealth. We're talking about welfare. Yeah, small welfare recipients and things of that nature. EBTs. Yeah, we're talking about that right there. But as far as
businesses and colleges,
that's what it will be.
We can't just pick
no, they don't. It's the government. They can get rid of what they want and keep it.
We're getting rid of it.
No. See, here's the
in
thing.
a scenario.
No. So but that's the thing. If we can't get rid of it, we can stop using it and figure it out on our own.
So that goes back to what she said.
Yeah.
With the colleges and getting the grants and the loans.
But see, if you think about that, those are like if you see
and assistance are two different things.
Yeah.
Subsidies are like when I'm going to college, I'm maintaining a certain grade point average.
Yeah.
They're giving me money to complete college.
Yeah, because of my grade point average.
Because you still gotta pay that shit.
Yeah.
You still gotta pay.
That's a loan though.
But they also
see, that's not assistance.
They offer grants.
Yeah.
Pell grants.
Yeah.
That's money that you get that you don't have to pay back that every black person in college bought their first cars with.
But I'm saying
so
we don't have that.
But
you will. You will
see,
because
that's the
guess
thing.
what? It's not based on socioeconomic status, it's based on your grades.
Exactly. So that has nothing to do.
Like you can't get a Pell Grant if you're sitting at home. You've got to be enrolled in a college that's an institution of learning with accredited. It's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
So that's like, no, we're not just giving away free money. We're investing in your future. We're good with that.
Yeah. But
you're being proactive. We're talking about people who are sitting at home,
not doing anything,
and getting money from the government just because the number of children they're procreating.
Yeah, and that's the only thing that's being taken away.
Yeah.
But as
if
far
you have
as
kids, they're yours. Take care of them.
Exactly.
Everything else,
Yeah, we still got the rest of it. We're not going to make the nation go bankrupt, or we're not going to make the nation literally fall into an abyss, because we're still investing in smart people for the future of the nation. We're just not giving assistance anymore to people who we deem to be leeches on the system, because that's how people, believe it or not, the people in the higher up, that's how they look at people that are on government assistance. They look at them as leeches. They're looked at as leeches.
So Ms. Lindsay passed out all them condoms. It was so I wouldn't get government assistance. So I should thank her.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
No, you're going to thank her for not having you on child support.
There you go. Yes.
Yes.
Because believe it or not,
paying for child
here's
support
the thing.
because you wrapped that rascal and you did not procreate.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing.
So cheers to
government
you,
assistance. Yeah, government assistance is not available, right? Government assistance is not available, but child support still is.
So government assistance is not.
But child support still is, because you still got to take care of your babies.
Assistance.
So that's still that's personal. That ain't got shit to do with the government. That's personal. That's state.
So then that goes back to your question. If child support's still there and government assistance is not there, then still there's nothing to stop.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Because guess what? How many people can live off of that $27 to $37 a week?
Sure.
The average.
But
listen.
We're missing one thing though. We're missing one thing.
What's that?
When the relationship don't work. then that child support kicks in.
But
Right.
it's $27 to $37 a week, and the
Ain't
government is paying them $200 to $300 a week.
Exactly. That's a big difference.
With food stamps and
No, the government system.
right.
It's
gone.
So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So guess what? If you know, no matter what, even if you're at the top end of the food chain and you're getting $200 a week, and it takes a lot to get the government to agree that a guy on a regular means of income is going to give you $200 a week,
Yeah.
he's got to be making close to $400,000 a month.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, a year,
400.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to
yeah.
be making over a quarter, more than almost $500,000 before you can get $200 a
That's
week.
not gonna stop sleeping.
But see,
But
but
it might slow them
it'll
down.
make. They, I
from
promise
making
you,
babies
it'll make
because
better
there's not
choices.
going to be enough money to support
Because
the kid.
think about
You
it.
don't get you're gonna, if the guy has $400,000 a year and you're getting $200 a week, okay?
Mhm.
If he has 5 kids, the government has to take that in consideration, and they're going to divide it
Divide
among
amongst
those
them
kids. So
babies.
you're not getting that 200, you're getting 50.
I think we're missing that little gray area.
There is no gray
It
area.
is a gray area.
What's the
I wanna
gray
hear
area?
The gray area is when you out and you meet somebody and there's drinks involved, maybe a little reefer,
Mhm.
and then shit happens.
Okay.
The S happen
You
scenario.
can't- Huh?
It
No,
can-
no.
yeah. No, no. Well, wait, here's the thing. Okay, let's go with the shit happens scenario.
Yeah,
Okay, let's go with that, right? So
With no government assistance.
no government
with child
assistance.
support.
So here's the thing.
So
Still
That's
depends on
that's
how
the,
many
that
kids and how
also
much you're
that
making,
also
and that is
depends
not
on
gonna
how.
make you
Yeah,
more money.
exactly. But it also shit happens. But does it now? And the reason that I'm saying that, think about it.
Miss Lindsay,
Think
gave you
about it.
pointers.
You now
they should-
everybody, because there's no more government assistance.
Man,
There should not be anybody that ain't got a condom that's single. There should be no one that either ain't got a condom or ain't on some kind of birth control or something, because now there is no assistance if you get pregnant.
It's all on you.
Yeah, so I mean, you may get past the morning after pill. So do you really want to take that chance as opposed to simply taking care of yourself and using condoms and using things of that nature, so that there's more of a chance to prevent pregnancy because you ain't gonna have no help.
Yeah, and I'm with you. That's logical thinking. Unfortunately,
But
humans aren't very logical.
No, we're not.
but you know what?
But your
Rich?
mindset has now changed in 2004.
Yeah.
See, we're not
you're
logical
talking
from
about where we
70s
are now
to
and-
2004.
Thank you.
But they've changed their mindset. Now you have to think about more. You can't just give your pussy out like Skittles now. That's it. You now have to be selective of how much sex you will actually have. Yes.
You get Gucci.
Yeah.
You get some Gucci.
Yeah,
and
you get some coochie.
Nah, Oprah Gucci is done.
I get what you're saying. It's that gray area.
Yeah.
There's no.
Like, no,
that's-
it
you
is.
keep talking
There
about
is.
but
Here's the thing.
I understand what.
I get what you're saying. I get it.
It could happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think that if there was still no welfare, the family unit would be more tight. You're going to have generations taking care. The grandparents are there, the parents are there, the children are there. They're going to band together and take care of the child
Yeah.
if it happens.
Yeah.
Instead,
Mhm.
these single, these little young 14, 15-year-old girls, they're like, well, I'm supposed to be on welfare. I'm going to sit home, and all I'm doing is teaching my child that they don't have to work. And then that generation sits at home and thinks, I don't have to work because my mom made a career out of being on welfare.
And that's what I was saying at the beginning.
Mhm.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Generational
Now,
thing.
And that's what I
agree with
said.
that.
20, 50, 60 years from now, when I'm gone.
Yeah.
man,
But that's exactly what
Yeah,
I was
so
saying.
from
the
2004,
generations of it.
Procreation
yeah,
is gonna happen
exactly.
regardless.
So, because Sha was saying, the generation. This is a generational thought process. That's what you were getting at.
Exactly.
So you getting at the thought of a generational thought process. Well, now we got to break that in 2004 because it's over. See, we keep thinking if was a fifth, we'd be drunk as a sound
And
bitch.
then they don't have
But-
any skills or anything. They're
but
not
see,
teaching them
now-
anything on the side, so they're not educated.
Exactly. But now in 2004, guess what you're seeking out? Education. You're seeking out different things because now that assistance is gone. You can no longer see. Here's the thing: we have to stop at that point as Black people. And I know exactly what you're saying, brother. I promise you, I know exactly what you're because you can still have those people that are stupid. We got knuckleheads in all communities. We got people who think stupid in all communities. But what I'm trying to say is, in 2004, the percentage, because we're now going by percentages now of people that are going to make better decisions, outweigh those dumbasses. And see, with the dumbasses, they're now going to be taken care of by a family unit that has learned now how to band together because nobody else is here to help you. That's it. So now you've made and I will never call a child a mistake. I will always say you made a bad choice, but the child is not the mistake. Your choice was, but at the end of the day, now you now have no more assistance outside of the assistance of your family and your community. So with that thought process, even if you have that night where the condom broke, because condoms break, even if you have that night where the diaphragm didn't quite fram, if you have that night where the pill didn't quite do the pill shit.
And
so
to Jerry, something, it do break, but once you start feeling it, it'll be like
it's in now.
We'll see.
That's not
Sometimes you gotta.
We'll see. That's the thing. And here's the thing. By that time, think about it. Government assistance is now over. So I guarantee you,
Herculean efforts.
yeah, I guarantee you, Trojan now is making Kevlar condoms. I promise you, it's a different condom coming out now in 2004 because y'all motherfuckers ain't gonna make us take care of it.
I'm not playing devil's advocate. Anyway, I agree with everything that's being said.
You see the horns coming up slowly.
However, if you take one thing, something else is going to come.
Yeah, stability of the family.
No, that's logical thinking.
Yes,
that's what we would want.
No, that's what's going to happen because when
it's not going to happen.
Let me tell you what.
Because people still got to evolve. At the end of the day, evolution still got to
being forced now.
But guess what? Because of some of the choices of our community and we're devolving. So we're not evolving. We're actually either remaining stagnant or we're actually devolving. So
because we're not expecting. There's no expectations.
Because there's no expectations for growth. Because one thing that most people don't realize, and the reason why this would never happen, this scenario would never happen, is because only 7% of the population is Black that is getting help from it.
Exactly.
The other 93% is other and white. So,
discuss that.
But guess what? What ends up happening is they focus their lens
on us. Yes.
Because we the ones who kill each other. We're the ones who have disproportionate amount of children per capita.
But also think.
But
think
did
about
you hear what I said? If you do the amount of children we have per capita by our numbers, we have more kids than other people.
And you think about it, they have,
Sheila's here.
and even if so think about it, they are more. They have more people on government assistance than we do, but they also have something that we will have to learn in 2004. They have a community. Everyone else has a community except us. So now we have to learn how to be a community again, because white folk is a community onto themselves because they own all of this. This is their community. So you have Hispanic people who have their own community. You have Asian people that have their own community. You have Indian, Iraq. You have all of these people that have their own. I mean, they got places like China, Little China and Little Italy and all of these different places. These people have their own community. You don't have the little hood. You don't have little Africa nowhere. You ain't gonna see that nowhere. You know what I mean? You got little Africa in Africa. You know what I mean? But this show ain't here. So that's the thing. So now,
I'm sorry.
You know what?
But the whole idea is that when you think about it, also those people that service our community from other nationalities don't even live in our communities.
Exactly. So now
you don't see Mr. Khan, and I'm using that as a general term, not as a term of disrespect.
Exactly.
You don't see Mr. Khan coming out of his house on the street and walking down to that corner liquor store.
So with no government assistance,
we got to own our own stores. Yeah. Because when ain't no money to be made. So now guess what we got to do? We got to get that store. We got to figure out how to farm.
And because be a lot less liquor stores.
Yeah, a lot less. Yeah. Because we got time to drink no more.
Most of those corner stores were grocery stores growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom used to give me that list, and we used to go get the little things that we needed until she had to go to the AMP or what was the other one? Super Saver.
Yeah.
Because there was no Giants in our neighborhoods.
No, they was not in that neighborhood. AMP. Super Pride.
Super Pride.
That's what we had. You know what I mean? And we live in food deserts. No, here's but here's the thing. It's going to be a problem. I'm gonna tell you, there's going to be a problem no matter what you do, because there's going to be criminals and jackasses no matter what you do. The problem is we're talking about the percentage.
But if you're making less babies,
because it's going to be a lot less.
Less babies, it's going to be less people out here to do even positive and negative.
And think about
that's what I can't go with, because you can't stop procreation.
Yes, you
can. That's going to happen.
They do that in China.
It's not. They do it in
They
China.
Stop it.
Well, it's like illegal there for them to have.
Yeah, exactly.
It's illegal.
Exactly. I mean,
you have more than 2 children.
Do you think that there's a such thing as a place? Real quick, do you think there's a such thing as a place in the world that have no rats? Anywhere in the world that have no?
No.
You think that okay?
No rats?
So no rats. They have no. Is there a place in the world that don't have any rats?
Visual?
Yeah. Period.
No, at all.
I would say yeah.
So where's the place?
I don't fucking know.
I know Calgary, Alberta, Canada literally has no rats because they took out a war on rats, and they kill if a rat is murdered on sight. There are no rats in Calgary, Alberta, Canada because they took initiative to make sure that didn't happen. So if we can
like
put
black people in the underground.
Either that, but that's the thing. They're not walking up the street.
They know better.
So
because they learn the behavior.
So here's the thing. Like you said, it's now a learned behavior. Right. So we can learn to stop having all of these damn kids.
Thank you.
If the rats can learn to keep their black asses in the sewer, or keep their punk asses in the sewer, or keep their rat asses in the sewer, we can learn how to not have kids we can't take care of. We can learn how to not do these things. Everything that you do is a learned behavior.
If you limit the whole world, not just China, how did the world populate? Like, how do you keep going? Easy,
because if you think there's billions of people in the world, if people think about it's billions of people in the world, if every person in the world had 2 kids, the world is overpopulated.
And then we get stuff like coronavirus.
Because everybody in the world can't have 2 kids.
That's the thing. That's why the world is not in that place.
Exactly. So if you take the government assistance out of it, people is going to start dying off. It's going to be racist.
No, it's not. Ain't nobody going to die off because that's how we go.
Because of government assistance, but just that logic that we just going to knock off. Oh, Preston, you can only have 2 kids. Richard, you can only have 2 kids.
They're not going to tell us we can't have 2. We're going to make the choices. The women, let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell women real quick. Women are going to make those choices because ain't no woman that ain't got no help gonna put their child in danger.
But they will have help.
No, here's the thing. They got help. They got help.
If I'm wrong, in that scenario, the men stepping up.
Yeah.
Houses are being complete.
But guess who now have a say so? Guess who has a say so now? How many kids they have? Pops.
What?
So here's the thing. She's gonna say we can only afford 2 kids. He's gonna say you're absolutely right. Guess what they're gonna have? 2 kids. She's gonna say, baby, we can have a child, but we can only have 1 because we can't do. Okay, baby, guess what? We can only have 1 kid. They're gonna make those choices because they know they're not gonna bring their children into a world where they have to struggle.
That's limiting the power of the woman, though.
That's not limiting them because she's made the choice.
Because
she made the choice.
She made the choice off of what you want, right?
No. She made the choice off of what's necessary.
Hold on. You have 2 kids, right? 2 kids grow up. She started having baby fever.
But they grew up. So here's the thing. But here's the thing, bro. The kids have now grown up.
She'll tell you baby fever ended after her second child.
But wait a minute. Here's the thing.
She will look at everybody else's baby.
But I'm gonna tell you this.
Beautiful child.
But no, I'm gonna tell you this. They grew up.
Fever runs off real quick.
I made the decision not to have kids because I never found a man that I felt that would be with me, be my equal, to help me raise a child. So I made the choice not to have kids.
But if you made the choice to have more kids, you still going to want that from the man you with.
But here's the thing: you just said those 2 kids grew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer your responsibility, so you can have another one. They gone.
So it's not just
they're
2
adults.
kids.
It's 2 kids that become adults.
No.
Based off of what you can afford.
Based off what you can afford. So if you're now
just like in Africa, you can have as many wives as you can afford in some tribes.
Yeah. So now you and your wife
So
done raise these kids. Yeah. So y'all done raised them children. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You and your wife done raised these kids, hopefully to be successful. So now you've raised them to be successful. You two have gotten your money together to the point to where you can bring another kid into the world just as comfortable as the first 2. So now you have a whole nother generation coming into the world that's being taken care of responsibly, like you took the other 2, and the other 2 may have 2 children because hopefully they decide to marry responsible women or men, whoever they decide to marry. So you may have daughters. So you may have you have your daughters that came up with the mindset that mom put in them. Hey, baby, look, do not have more than what you can afford. So now them babies, what's that? Exactly.
It sounds like the perfect world that I would love to live in.
But we're not talking about euphoria. We're talking about people learning
different behavior. We see, that's the thing, bro. If we keep thinking about what if
paradise, and we're just talking about a different way of living.
Yeah, because the thing is, we now in 2004 from 2022, we can't live in what ifs. We got to make it happen.
This whole podcast is about what if.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, but see, the whole podcast is about what ifs, but we're now thinking about in 2004 to 2022. Yes, the podcast is about what if this happened, but the thought process it can't be a what if that's what happened.
Right.
It can't be a what if. It's gotta be, this is what we do. And if it's a woman that say, well, I want to have 5 kids, I can't be with you. So now a man has to make a responsible decision. I can't afford 5 children. Regardless of what your womb wants, I can't afford it. And I'm gonna be honest, here's the thing, bro. That's not gonna be problematic.
It is.
Because I don't have to sleep with you.
Love her, so you
I ain't gotta sleep with you. My dick is mine. I ain't gotta give it to you. I can go to somebody else, baby. I just want 1 kid. Okay, come on, let's do this shit. Because you ain't gonna kill me financially. And you don't want to be killed financially. But if you find somebody who has enough finances to take care of 5 kids, y'all are compatible. You're now going to look for people who are more compatible with you, as far as mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially.
Right.
So now you're going to have to put all of these different factors on the table because there is no more help.
Now, don't get me wrong. And I definitely understand what you're talking about. You're talking about what I talk about all the time, which is the knucklehead factor. In any society, in any type of community, there are knuckleheads. Knuckleheads are the people that no matter what you say, what you do, they are going to be the antithesis of it. They're going to do the complete fucking opposite of everything you was expecting for your society to do, and it's going to happen. And you're talking about them. We can't base our societies
off of them because there'll be a lot less of them than there'll be of
base it. We got to factor.
Here's the thing.
Always factor in the knucklehead.
We got to factor in knuckleheads, but there'll be so much.
Make sure that it's enough positive energy that they don't allow the situation to be run amok.
And that's why I said percentages. The percentage of people that make better choices have to override the people that make the bad ones, because you're going to have bad choices. One of your kids could be one of the bad choice people, but no, it's 2004. They're your babies. It could be my son. He could be stupid and make some dumbass choices. But here's the thing. Your babies are included because within that time frame, if you had a man around it, or if your babies are having babies in that time frame, 2004, then okay, we got an issue because you're going to have to stop, Junior, because we can't afford this shit no more, boy. You breaking my pockets as pops.
I'm with y'all 100% believe. It's just like, I think what we missing is actual life experience when it comes to that. Right now, it just sounds like everything is tallied and good on paper. Like, and reading it off, it sounds damn near perfect to move. But at the end of the day, it's just these little verbals. You remember like math, where it'd be like 1 plus X plus
Yeah.
2 equals 6.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
we
different
not
variables.
calculating for X. And we
We are.
can't figure out X till X actually happens.
I'm gonna tell you why we are calculating for X.
Wow.
This is exactly how we're calculating for X, because now X is still around, but you also not calculating the fact that sometimes X becomes Y, because now X is thinking differently because the situation changed. Some of these knuckleheads don't be knuckleheads no more when their shit's in jeopardy too. So now we have to factor in the people whose mindset could change because the situation changed, because they're thinking the same way that the women that were thinking in that way, where we can have as many kids as we want and you ain't got to worry about it. But now X has turned into Y, because Y is like, why the fuck am I doing this? I can't afford this because now I have to, because you're gonna have to pay for them. You ain't got no choice but to pay for them. You know what I mean? So now you still got the knuckleheads, but there will be far less, because some of the knuckleheads that we have now won't be knuckleheads by 2022, because they are now making different choices, because you are forcing some of these knuckleheads to grow the hell up.
So I'll throw away government assistance from 2004 to now.
Yeah.
Are we still in the market?
Yes.
Where else we going to be?
Then we are really not paying attention to one variable.
What's that?
The white people.
Are we paying attention to
already
it?
said
But they don't even factor in. I'm gonna tell you why they don't factor in.
Because just like Black Wall Street, they don't like us to succeed. So if we do it by what y'all saying, they're coming.
We're different now.
So then we're going into a whole race war.
We different now, because guess what?
Understand.
See, then we weren't.
This is the whole idea, and I think this is the part that makes it different.
Yeah.
We're on an even playing field because they ain't getting it either.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be on an even playing field.
Wait a minute. You don't get what I'm saying. Hold on. Listen. So that means they're not getting government assistance. Now, that means that if you readjusted the way that you raised your children, and the children that you are raising are more prone to know that they have to be knowledgeable, they have to be educated, and they have to support themselves, then they are now in war. Basically, there's a job war that's going to be going on.
Yeah.
And of course, we know that, there's the elitist society that's going to say if they're white, they're right, they're going to get the job first. But guess what? There are going to be those other people who are going to go, I'm going to hire the best person for the job.
Yeah.
But will we even get to that point?
We're already at that point.
I'm gonna see. You're thinking. But no, here's the thing.
I'm not talking about.
But see, you thinking about
employment. I'm talking about just the people that are being hired by companies. Like the tech industry, don't care what color you are. If you can write them 1-0s for them, and you can do their programs.
But that's changing the whole world.
But it's going to be better. We're not taking away technology. We're not taking away education. We're not taking away mental growth. All we're taking away is a stimulus package.
If that was true before government system came into play, why didn't we do that shit?
We were.
We was on the rock to
because
that shit.
We were already doing it.
We were.
They kept bringing it down.
They was running this shit down.
But we were doing it. That's the
We
thing.
weren't recognized people.
Yeah, exactly. So think about it.
We were
still
coming out of Jim Crow. We were coming out of slavery.
Yeah. So now,
that's what I'm saying.
So see if they try to do it now.
But difference now.
Yeah.
The difference now is that even white people know that we should not have been enslaved.
But
I'm not so that they would have got
but I'm gonna tell you why it would be different. I'm gonna tell you why it would be different.
What changed?
Because think about white people.
Because we wanted to be free, or do you think we're free because they said we gotta let them
go? But also think about this. Them same white people that you're talking about, that's officer assistants. You think they worrying about a black neighborhood or eating?
Exactly. So
they don't give a damn about our neighborhoods. They just want to eat now. They want to feed their kids now. So they're not worrying about tearing up our shit, because now they are where we are. Now, of course, they're going to be white people that are, like you said, the elitist mentality. They're going to bring. Yes, I have. I know what's up. Those junkies are scarier than ours. So I already know. But what I'm saying is, bro.
They look like the Thriller video.
Yeah, I lock my doors if I ride down that son bitch.
But my doors everywhere. Man.
But see, but that's the thing. But you thinking about people in a impoverished state now. Now, these are people
No,
who no
you can't
longer
do it.
have assistance. White people, Hispanic people, and Asian, all across the board. Everybody's assistance is gone. These people are not worrying about tearing down our neighborhood. They're trying to build up their own shit. And think about it. White people, if they're good at anything, is learning how to do other shit from other people. If anything, they'll learn how to build their shit from watching our shit. Now, maybe later on, we may have to worry about them trying to blow the shit up. But by that time, we didn't figure out how to protect ourselves because we no longer sit back and get punched in the face. We're going to punch your ass back.
Has been built
And
by
that
the
brings
black
us right
community.
to what I was saying. It's going to create just another wall.
If it happens, then guess what? We are not. Don't shoot no more. That's damn sure not who I am. So here's the thing. You come trying to mess with that neighborhood because we are no longer people who are we're no longer people. But think about it, we're no longer people who are living that life where we're being taken care of off the teat of the government. We're now grizzled and hard people because we had to do this shit the hard way. Come fucking with them. These are different people. These are people who had to put their nose to the grindstone. In a sense. But no. Ain't no
We're that hard people now.
We're not.
We are.
We've been through a lot of shit.
Not our ancestors.
That we're not our, but that's the thing. We're talking about people who had to now figure that shit out from 2004. So we're talking about what 18 years?
Mm-hmm.
18 years of no assistance. You now have to figure out how to be a farmer again. You now have to figure out how to do woodworking. You have to figure out how to do welding. You got to figure out all of this shit on your own. You got to work with your hands. These are turning into hard-ass people. So we're talking about these people that get up to 2002. You can bring your ass to their community after they built it with their hands. They got calluses and scars and injuries and shit. And their kids got calluses and scars and injuries and shit. And these kids are just as hard as these other people that had to build this community, come into that community trying to play.
I'm with you.
So that's what I'm saying. It's you. The whole mindset would have to change, bro. And that's what I'm trying to get at. We have to change the way that we think about how we do this shit. Because from 2004 to 2002, ain't no assistance. So if we can have that thought process right now, do you understand where we could be by 2040, 2030? If we could adapt that mindset now, or even use the assistance that we get to do something better to build our community. Because ain't nobody saying that we can't build a community with assistance.
I'm with that about building our community.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on that. I'm 100% with the whole conversation.
Yeah.
It's just that verb that I think
it ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing because you're talking about sabotage. You're talking about sabotage. But that's the thing. But that's the 60s.
Yeah, you still don't understand that we weren't recognized people yet. People were still not ready to recognize that we were.
That's what I'm saying.
But the whole idea is, but
are we still going to be recognized
today?
Recognized now,
absolutely.
Because to not recognize us means that LGBTQ plus would not be recognized.
And guess what? You don't want to get them involved.
And you don't want to do that. So you're talking about reverting. We're not getting
no.
But see, the whole idea is, I said that out of respect. I'm saying that all of those things happened back then because they were fighting for us not to be recognized as a people. Yeah. Because then we got the same things that they got at the same level, and there was no way for them to sugarcoat it or to manipulate it.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing. Just like I was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago about reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That was a learning experience for me. I shut my fucking mouth for about 20 minutes and gathered my thoughts. It take a lot for me to shut up. But it was a powerful moment.
Yeah.
And I had my thoughts. Mm-hmm. And everybody was in agreement with the things but you really have to think about it.
Yeah.
So, and what I'm saying, I said that to say this is that we keep making excuses for not being able to grow in a negative environment, but that's all our
that's all we've ever done. We've grown in
We've
negativity.
grown in
That's
negative
not what I'm
environments,
saying,
but you're making the point for the people who aren't going to be the
Some
positives.
receptive, yeah.
You're talking about the spoiled parts of the onion when we're talking about everybody that's a part of the onion that still wants to remain valid,
Yeah.
who wants to remain fresh.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you why.
The layers are
see,
there.
you're thinking about our
Yeah,
bad
you-
apples.
But
But guess who? No, but guess who else has?
You
But
can't
you don't cut that
concentrate on
spoiled part.
but
You
you can't
can't.
concentrate on it.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna
But
tell
if
you why.
concentrate on it,
Mhm.
and everybody puts their energy into making sure that that spoiled part is part of our community, they're going to take everything else
No,
away.
what I'm talking about is cut. How would you cut that out?
You can't. White people can't cut out their spoiled parts.
White people love heroin more than black people.
They can't cut out their spoiled parts. Hispanic people cannot cut out their spoiled parts. The Asian community, think about it. The Yakuza is a spoiled part. The mafia is a spoiled part. You know what I mean? The MS-16 is a spoiled part of each one of these communities. We can't cut out the spoiled parts. We got to work around to work away.
Right.
But we got to figure it out because we can't keep making excuses. Well, this part right here is spoiled, so it's always going to be no. Because there were spoiled parts in the 60s and we still figured it out. There were spoiled parts in the 70s and we figured it out. White people destroyed the shit. We didn't.
So we're stopping them from destroying our shit now.
Social media.
Different, yeah.
With the immediacy.
No,
hold
we're
on.
different
the
people, bro.
of seeing what's going on.
Yeah, and not to mention,
Do you
remember,
think that more people were getting knocked over the head in the 60s, 70s, and 80s than in 2020?
Yeah.
No.
About
the same amount.
Now people can see it.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
You can see it in real time happening right on your phones.
Yeah.
You can see it on your TVs. You can see it on your computers in real time. It wasn't more violence. It's the same amount of violence, but it was being captured in real time and they couldn't deny it.
And think about it's an 18-year period, bro, of people changing mindsets.
Right.
So even with the spoiled parts, these people are changing the way they think. So you thinking they thinking how they think now. That's not the same thought process because that's gone.
I got so much faith in people.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that we can cut out our spoiled shit.
We can't. We don't need to.
I'm listening. Listen. We can cut that shit out. But other people watching, like, if we prosper with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want us to prosper.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to attract other people like, oh, y'all doing that over there. That's just maybe because I'm from 15. But
think about it.
You watch somebody getting money from over there. You want to know how they getting money
Yeah.
and why you ain't getting the money. And that's what white people did with Black Wall Street.
Bro, let me tell you, white people do that with your clothes. White people do that with your dance. White people do that with your music. It's never going to stop. The thing about it is we can't. The thing is we can't let somebody else's choices govern how we move.
No,
see, that's the problem.
I agree.
The choice of government assistance governs how you move. You can't let your man in the house because the government's helping you. That tells you how you're supposed to move.
Right.
But from that point, they can't tell you who can be in your house.
Right.
Because this is how I'm going to survive and live. So now, even with the bad parts, you can't tell me how to move. Because I'm moving to survive now. And now because you don't have a place in my home. You have no place in my home outside of the taxes that I pay. You can't tell me who lives there no more. You can't tell me can't have grandma in the house. You can't tell me can't have grandpa and Uncle Joe or whoever. You can't tell me who I can have in my house because you're assisting me. You are not assisting me now. So even with the bad apples that may be in that same household, you work around that.
I'm gonna try something.
They're scared.
They preach, Daddy.
Okay.
With great power come great
responsibility. Okay, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man shit. Right? Spider-Man shit, right? But if you haven't noticed, right, there was nothing going on in that world.
Mm-hmm.
So it became a great power.
Yeah.
So when we rise up and become that great power, something's coming.
Yes.
It's always been.
How do you defend it? That's all I'm asking.
Well, see, you brought up the Black Panthers. When the Black Panthers was feeding and educating and doing the positive stuff in the community.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm gonna tell you how.
And this is the
Go
thing,
ahead, JB.
though. The white
I'm about got
media
that
had
one.
hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they spun everything they were doing for the negative.
Yeah.
Correct. So even without assistance,
Let me tell
they're
you.
going to still do that shit.
Let me tell you why, bro. I'm gonna tell you how you can.
Now.
I'm gonna tell you how they
Because
can.
of the immediacy. Because
Well, not
it's
even
right
just that,
here.
JB.
Because we are, everything is visible
spend
on
that
the
shit
instant.
now.
But not even that. I'm gonna tell you how.
But they tried to do it with George Floyd. It didn't work. All of them going to jail.
I'm gonna tell you how. Because we gotta stop telling people what the hell we doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, so we got to be on some Congress.
Exactly.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
See, this is what I'm.
But
See, that's the
that
thing.
was that whole
You
movie
can't.
was about
Yeah.
a community that did what they had to do.
Yeah.
And,
See,
and even though they could save the world,
Mhm.
they had to save themselves first.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. If I'm planning to do something that's going to take from you,
it wasn't enough to
okay?
stop their civilization from flourishing.
Exactly. So here's the thing. If I'm planning to do something to harm you or to take from you, do you think I'm going to announce it?
No.
So here's the thing. I'm now taking government power away from my community. Why am I telling them? You're telling them shit. They don't know. I'm buying up these houses. Oh, that's just a nice little block over there. They ain't worried about that. Oh, that's just a nice little another block that they ain't worried about that. By the time we done got about 4 or 5 blocks, now we have people in Congress because we done put somebody in Congress. Now we have aldermen. Now we have a mayor in office. See, that's the problem. We thinking too small. We thinking about just building communities. We need people in powerful places that also protect us. So now we have a community but see, that's now we have a community that we're building. So from that community is coming some of these doctors, some of these lawyers, some of these congressmen, some of these mayors. So from that community for 18 years, some of these people that are going to move forward to lead our community come from that. They're going to be born from fire. That's fire, because you're going to live in fire for 18 years until you figure it the hell out. And people that are born from fire never smell like smoke, brother, because they done figured out how to do that shit. So now we have them in office. Now we have them in the doctor's offices and the lawyer's offices. And you think they're not going to protect their community? So now we are in a position of power because we built these people and we didn't talk about it. We built it. We built these people from the ground up from that point because government assistance is building them now. We are now building them because we don't got no more assistance. So now we are building these kids into being the next leaders, because it's hard to build a leader when you're not leading. It's hard. If all Jennifer sees is that, but that's if all she sees. But that's the thing. Protecting is stop talking. Don't tell them. Don't tell nobody what you're doing to get your community together. And people come sniffing around, get quiet. You ain't got to tell them what the hell you doing. Huh? It is. If you think about how much do you know about how white people got powerful?
It was behind closed doors.
Everything they did was behind closed doors. They tell us nothing. How you think but that's the thing. That one white person ain't gonna do shit because all they got to do is spin him like he crazy.
And
spin him like he lost his damn mind.
We don't listen. I mean, like even from back in the days when I was in high school and listening to Public Enemy, they kept saying, and even in the 60s, the revolution is not going to be televised.
It's not. So
everything that we have to do is going to have to be a grassroots in our communities, covert. We've got to teach our own. We've got to learn our own. We've got to know our own. We've got to grow our own. And then we can be our own. Until we do those things, if we still worrying about who's trying to look in and see we don't have no more J. Edgar Hoovers in the dresses running around in the FBI offices trying to get dirt on King. Mm-hmm. It's not happening like that no more. They're still there. They're there, but they can't infiltrate. If they can't infiltrate like they used
if they're not looking at you, why they come to see you? What reason would they have to look at you?
Every kingdom gotta have the protection. How you protect the kingdom?
Stop talking.
Stop talking.
You can say stop talking, but somebody's gonna talk.
Then put their ass down.
I'm with that shit.
Here's the thing, bro. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. We can't be afraid to do the hard work either.
Okay.
Because if somebody's trying to bring us that, they're not just bringing down a community. They're bringing down a nation of people. Our people are a nation. And your mouth going to bring down this whole, yeah, we will put you down.
Let me clarify. I'm not with putting my people down.
I'm going to put your ass down. Because here's the thing. When you decide to go against me, you're no longer my people.
Facts.
You're trying to hurt my people now.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
So now you are a traitor. And how do they deal with traitors? Why shouldn't we deal with our traitors the same damn way? They're traitors. They're taking from your children, your children's children. They are making Oklahoma and Philadelphia and all of these things happen again because they run in their mouths. So yes, this you deal with traitors accordingly.
But that's what that is. It's a jury point.
What?
Social media. It's nothing but running.
Not really.
It is.
Because I'm talking about from 2004.
Ain't nothing secret on social
But I'm talking about 2004 to 2002. That shit gone, except for 2002.
So there's no social media.
No,
there's plenty of social media. But we talking about what if
the whole consciousness of your society has been changed
by now. So regardless of this, what the fuck can they do to stop it if we never spoke about it? From 2004 to 2022, we never talked about it until we talked about it. And by that time, we may have another president that came from the community. And he don't have to be black. He could be Hispanic. He could be Native American.
She could be.
She could be.
Exactly.
Yes, I could be.
Yes, she could.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Positions of power are created covertly. They're not created by running your damn mouth. So from 2004 to 2002, from 2004 to 2022, one of us could have been the president.
And two of
you
be an Illuminati if you listen to people.
Yeah,
in the media.
but here's the thing: you could have been the president.
Right?
Why? Because you from 2004 to 2022 changed your whole mindset because you had to, and you not talking about it because you can't. Because now your children are in danger if you talk. Your whole family is in danger if you talk. And that's where the bird. That's where the and that's where the drink is coming in. So
that motherfucker took my goddamn parking spot. Fuck this nigga.
Oh my.
But you know what? I think
over a parking spot.
Over.
We know who not to give the power to.
Damn right.
Yeah.
But see, you know what? On that note, I think we're gonna bring the show to a close. So we won't blow up nobody over no damn parking spot. So final thoughts, everybody. We're gonna start with Mr. JB.
Hey, okay. So I think the whole thing with me is that you definitely got to remember that all of the things that were meant to help you can hurt you if not used in a proper way.
Mm-hmm.
If not used with some guidance and with some sustenance behind it, and with the idea that you don't need it forever.
Yes.
These subsidies and these government packages weren't meant for us to live off of. They were meant for us to survive off of till we got to a better place. And just like with drugs, we became a dependent on it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the hurt of the community. I mean, I grew up in a family that grew up in the projects, so don't think that, I grew up in the suburbs. No, we grew up right in the projects. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I was only in the projects for about 11 months because by then my family had worked their way to buying a home. So by the time I turned one in my own bedroom that I shared with my brother. And we were living in a community where everybody owned their houses, cut their grasses on Saturday and all of that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there were food stamps. I remember those little food stamps and having to go to the corner store and buy stuff with those little food stamps. And it made me feel some kind of way. And it made me feel like my kids will never have to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole idea. It was meant for, this is to help you for a little while. Mm-hmm. And once you get to the point where you're sufficient, then you can do things for yourself. Mm-hmm. And one thing that my kids never had to do was go to a store and pay anybody with a food stamp or EBT card because I broke the cycle. Now, my family wasn't dependent upon it. They used it when they needed it and they got off of it. That's where we need to be. use the government for what they can do for you to get you to another place. If you have to go like our brothers that go into the army and all that get paid for their college tuition, they use the army to get what they want, and now they're running their own companies. Use those things to make yourself better and move on. Let's move on. Let's get what is ours. I mean, I'm in my own business right now, sitting in the building that my work helped to fortify and create. And I did not do it with a bunch of grants, loans, subsidies, and everything else. I did it from hard work. So let's get to the hard work part of our lives and do something positive with hard work and not expect handouts. I'll help you, but I'm not going to give you a handout.
Man, Rich?
Come on over, bro. Take that seat. You can't talk to people and
Get the hot seat, bro. Get the hot seat.
All they hearing is Charlie Brown's
womp womp.
No, I agree with everything he said. Just saying. Just get security. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
That's it?
Just get security. Protect your house. Protect your community.
Okay.
That's what these big arms is for.
That's right. Get the swole. So you got the swole. There it is.
All right, that's all I got.
Miss K, what do you have to say?
You want to come on camera?
Come on.
behind the scenes stuff, girl.
Can they hear you?
Yeah, they can hear with this.
Okay.
But I mean, if you want to come on up, you're more than welcome to.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome, Miss K.
I think the key word is that we said over and over again is responsibility. As a woman, one thing that drives me to the point of wanting to scream is women who use the government use welfare as a job. So the kids grow up not knowing responsibility, not taking accountability, and it's a cycle that continues to go. So like JB said, you have to break that cycle. Use government assistance if needed, become responsible, break that cycle.
Okay. Lady shot.
I feel like as a community, we need to get together and educate our people who are on assistance to help them step up so they can get off of it. Help them find a way to be aware that there's other things other than assistance, and not because they do use it as a crutch. So to get off of it, learn how to open up a business, learn some skills so they can help their children when they get there, so they won't have to be on assistance. Other than that, that's, as a community, we need to unify.
Okay. So here's my final point. I had to think long and hard about this because everybody just kind of said some shit smarter than what I'm probably going to say. But what I'm going to say is this. Excuses are the only thing that keep bringing us down. We make more excuses than we make progress. Every single time we make an excuse, that is a punch to the progress that you could possibly make as a community, as a person, as whatever. So stop making excuses for why you should have it and start making reasons why you don't need it. Because if you keep on making those excuses, then those excuses will become a lifestyle. And once the excuse becomes a lifestyle, you will not know how to pull yourself out of it. So if there was nothing from 2004 to 2022, your lifestyle is different because now it's your lifestyle, not the lifestyle that was given to you. So how about from 2022 to whenever, change your thought process so that you can change your lifestyle. So your lifestyle is not governed by how much assistance you get. It's governed by how much skill you have and how much you have to give to the future generations that are coming behind you. So that's the only point that I have. We got to stop with the excuses and start with living in the abilities that we have as men and women in this community. Because once again, and I'm a strong believer of this, our women, because I know so many men want to try to take the time to trash our women and their abilities and all. Our women are just as strong as we are mentally. Just as strong as we are mentally. And as far as I'm concerned, the asset of having our women and women having your man at your side far outweighs anything that the government could possibly provide for you, because the government can help you build a couple of things in your household to take care of your kids. As a family unit, you can build a community, which will be much stronger than any assistance that the government could possibly give you. So, and what also comes from community is family. Our family units are fractured because we told people that they're no longer important to us, because as long as the government's helping us out, we don't need you. So stop looking at that assistance as something that's more important than those blood ties and those family ties and those family lines. So look at it in a completely different way and make better choices. Make better choices in the people that you have your kids with. Start it now. Make better choices in how much you decide to, ladies, give out your sex, men give out your sex. Look how important your body has to be, a lot more important to you than to just get hot for a night. And I'm talking to men and women alike. So if you change your mindset at this point, then you can change the outcome of what your kids and your kids' kids will have going on in the near future, and you'll be proud of the results that you get. So I want to thank everybody for showing up to the Grizzly tonight. I also want to thank Mr. JB, whose birthday is today. So JB just turned 25 again. So yes, that gray hair is a rinse out. He gonna wash that out.
That's that crunchy bullshit.
But no, I want to thank JB for allowing us to use the studio tonight, allowing us to do the Grizzly on location.
Y'all look good on my screen in my office. I went
you,
to
bro.
my office to check. It looked good.
I appreciate it. We tries to do that.
I almost run my nipple.
Oh, Jesus. That's because of Shy.
She is a chocolate baby. You never met Sheila. Sheila, my chocolate baby. She's watching. I love you, baby. She's in the office watching.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Well, it's a delay because she's watching it.
Yeah.
She's on a delay.
Yeah. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. Now, like, share, subscribe. We're on YouTube now. So anybody that's not over here on Facebook can go on to YouTube and follow us now. So follow us over on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We may pop back in on Instagram. We'll see what happens. But right now, it's Facebook, it's YouTube. That's how we rolling. So once again, like, share, subscribe. We love you. We appreciate you. If you like what we had to say, thank you. We truly do thank you for showing up tonight and giving us your input and all the love that you guys have shown us all of this time. And if you don't like what we had to say, you got a problem with what we had to say, and you got some shit to say about the shit that we said to you, here's what we got to say. Shut your mouth. Shut your black ass mouth. Good night.
How you not know that?
I was saying shut the fuck up.